So I'm going to load up My Way by Calvin Harris. So now I've got 2 songs loaded up. Deck B looks pretty similar to Deck A now. So I'm going to show you how to transition from this song into this song. So the few things that you want to do when you're there's 3 types of transitions you can do at a dance, or that we usually do at dances. The first one is a pretty simple transition, and it's called a fade. So a fade essentially is just lowering the volume of this song while you're raising the volume of this song. And it's super easy. So you wait about till about the last 10 seconds of the song. So I'm going to skip to about the last 10 seconds of the song here. And I'm going to skip to here. Got my master volume up. Alright, so you can hear the song here. So this is the outro. So I'm going to start a little early. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower my volume here as I press play. So I just faded out of Deck A into Deck B by using these faders. And that's one of basically the simplest way. You can also do this with the crossfader by having the crossfader all the way over here and having these both up to full, and then going to the end of your song again, playing your song, and then slowing back. Oh, one thing, if you want to go back to the beginning of a song really quickly, what you do is you hold down Shift and Q, and it will take you right back to the beginning of the song. Alright, so I'm going to transition using the crossfader on this one. As you can see, that transition wasn't as smooth because I couldn't choose to lower this song volume before I brought this other song in, because this has a set curve, which essentially means just how loud this song is going to be playing until this song comes in. So that's why we usually mix this way instead of using the crossfader. Alright, another way that you can mix is going to be using, it's called a cut or a slam, and it's typically used with hip-hop music because it involves a very sudden transition. So I'm going to have the Cupid Shuffle here. So, and for a slam transition, you want to make sure you're coming in on the downbeat. So I have a nice cue point here on Cupid Shuffle right on the first downbeat. So you can hear that beat. So it's a very strong beat, and that's what you want to have. I'm going to load up another song from the New Year's Approvals. I'm going to load up Jumpman because that's a good example for this. And they're both a very similar BPM. So if you have 2 songs that are similar to BPM, it means the beats sort of are about the same. So I'm going to load up Jumpman right here, and I'm going to skip to around near the end. Alright, so now I'm ready to do my slam transition. So what I'm going to do basically is I'm going to have, this song's going to be playing, right? So I'm going to be playing this song, and I'm going to raise this one up, and when I'm going to press play, and then I'm going to slam this one down, and that's why it's called a slam transition. And you'll see what I mean when I play it, but it happens very quick, and you've got to be on top of it if you're going to do a slam transition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this down for safety, just make sure I don't accidentally slam it on accident, or accidentally don't play this at full volume until I really want to. So I'm going to go back and jump in here to about 13 seconds in, and you're going to see the slam transition real quick. Alright, let's do it. Ain't no something's coming, woo! Jumpin', them boys up to something, woo! Jumpin', what you expecting, woo! Shout out, Michael Jordan just said text me. New Cupid. Time for a change. So that's a slam transition. It's pretty quick and dirty, really good way to kind of get people hype. And another way that you can do it is you can do it with EDM songs. So one thing, I'll show you another example here with 2 sort of EDM songs. So I'm going to go load up this song, Butterfly Effect, and then I'm going to load up Sweet Nothing by Calvin Harris. So what you can do is you can go before the drop, and this is why you use cue points. So I have... So this is why you're going to use cue points. So cue points let you find a place in the song and basically keep track of it. So I have gone in before I played this, and I've set a cue point right here at the drop. So you can see where the drop comes in, I have a cue point right there. So I'm never going to lose that spot. So if I accidentally bump the wheel, I'm like, oh no. I just go back to my cue point, and I have it there all the time until I delete it. So I'm going to do the same thing with these two songs, and it's essentially the same idea. Both of the BPMs are very similar, so it's going to work quite well. All right, let's do this. So that's a slam transition, and those take a little bit of planning beforehand. Your fades are going to be the ones you use the most because you can do them on literally any song, and you'll use those basically on all the slow dances and most songs you play when you're starting out. But as you get more advanced, a slam is a great way to get people hype and quickly transition between two songs. Alright, the last type of transition I'm going to show you is called beat matching, and this is what a lot of DJs will talk about is, oh, you're not a real DJ until you can beat match. And beat matching is hard, but it's something that if you practice a little bit at it, you'll get better and better and better at it. In order to beat match, you have to understand a few things about the rest of the board, so I'll explain those right now. So up here you've got your tempo sliders, and these are basically going to let you adjust the beats per minute of the song. So we have these set for about 10%, so it's going to let you go about 10 beats per minute in either direction, a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on how you look at it, but essentially about 10 beats per minute. And that's just to keep the song sounding normal. Like in the DJ, how to use DJ Pro video, you want to have your key lock on, because if you have a song, so for example, you're playing Maps, and you start to speed it up, it's going to sound really weird because the pitch is off. So you're going to want to have key lock on here, which is going to make your key the same. And when you speed it up, it's going to sound just faster. So people are still going to notice that it's faster, but it won't sound bad. Alright, so for beat matching, you also need to have a pair of headphones. So I have a pair of headphones right here. These are just some Bose headphones. I'm going to plug these into the port on the side of the controller here, the headphone port here. I'm just going to plug it in right here. And now I can do what is called monitoring. And this can be used when you're not beat matching and when you're beat matching. So what monitoring allows you to do is it allows you to take your headphones and it allows you to put your headphones on and then listen to music through the headphones without it coming out the speakers. So let's say I have this song. Let's see, I'm going to choose another song. Let's say we have Lean On by Major Lazer and DJ Snake loaded up here. I'm going to listen to this out of the speakers. And I'm going to want to transition into another song after, just kind of fade into it. But I want to hear where I want to transition in from. So I'm going to choose Love on Top by Beyonce. I don't know why you want to transition into this, but maybe you want to. So you're going to listen to this song through the headphones so you know where to come in, because you can see the beginning is kind of quiet. So you want to know where to set a cue point, for example. So what you're going to do is you're going to choose, in the middle here you have your monitoring stuff. So these are your headphones volume. So this is going to adjust the volume of your headphones. And this is going to choose what comes out of your headphones. So deck A, deck B, or the master. And the master is just your output to the speakers. So if I wanted to listen to what's coming out of the speakers, I'll just press master, listen to that. As you can see, it's not coming out of the speakers. If I had this up, it would come out of the speakers. But I'm going to have this down, and I can hear it in my headphones right now because I have the volume up. And so I'm going to listen to this. I can hear deck A, so I'm listening to deck A right now, or I can listen to deck B. And you can also select a combination. So I get a master and deck A. I get deck A and B at the same time. I get a master and B at the same time. It just depends on what you want to do. So you just select it. When it's highlighted, you're hearing it through the headphones. When it's not, you're not hearing it through the headphones. Pretty simple. So I'm going to listen to this song through the headphones, and I can choose a cue point while this song is playing, as you can see right here. So again, don't have to keep scrolling back. Just shift cue to get back to the beginning. You're going to press play. I'm going to listen to deck A. So I want to come in right there. So I'm going to set my first cue point. I'm going to delete it. So I'm going to delete my first cue point, and I'm going to set my first cue point there. Alright. So one thing that you might have noticed about the cue points is that when you hold down the cue point, it's going to basically play that point in the song, but when you let go, it's going to go back to your cue point. Sometimes you want it to just play. You might find that you accidentally hold down the cue point and the song is already playing over the speakers. All you have to do is just press the play pause button and let go, and it works. It's just going to play over the speakers. But just a little trick or tip to kind of save you in a time of need. Alright, so now we're going to get into beat matching. So what beat matching is essentially you're lining up the beats of the songs, which is where you're going to use the tempo slider, and you're going to also listen to the other song through the headphones. And so this is a little bit of a trickier technique, but it sounds very cool if you do it correctly. And I find the easiest way to practice this is do this with some house songs. So Calvin Harris, Zed, any sort of housey pop artist or any artist. A lot of dance pop too. Some Rihanna's kind of easy, but you basically want songs with a long section of no vocals so that you can mix into it. So I'm going to choose Spectrum by Zed, which has this nice little intro here. So this has vocals in it, and this part, and this is a radio edit. So you can tell that it's a radio edit because it doesn't have an intro and outro. If I were to choose, if I were to choose Sweet Nothing has a long outro right here. You can see the bar on the bar at this beginning part here. This is called an intro, which is just a long section for mixing. This is a long section for mixing. Sometimes it'll have words, sometimes it won't. Usually an outro doesn't have words in it, but in some of these poppy songs it does. So if I were to play, for example, let's see, if I were to play Boy Oh Boy, this is going to have a very long outro here. And it's very repetitive and annoying, but this is essentially where you would want to beat match. So I'm actually going to try to beat match these two songs together, Sweet Nothing and Boy Oh Boy. And they're about the same BPM, but I need to make the BPM exact. So I'm going to actually adjust this. Usually you'll adjust the song that's not playing over the speakers. So if I were playing Boy Oh Boy and I'm going to outro to that, I'm actually going to leave that at 130. And then I'm going to speed up this song to 130, and it needs to be 130 exactly, not 130.1, not 129.9. It's got to be 130 exactly, and I'll show you in a sec. Because if you have it slightly out, I'm going to choose key lock here so it doesn't sound weird, but if you have it out of key a little bit and I try to line it up, and I line it up perfectly, so I'm going to try to line it up perfectly, right? So these are, you can see these are both lined up perfectly, correct? So you're going to press play. The songs are quickly going to drift out of sync, and it's going to sound like trash. So you don't want that when you're beat matching. So what you're going to do is you're going to, now that you have the song, so you're going to set songs both at the correct BPM, right? And now what you're going to do is you're going to both try to start them on a phrase. So a phrase is essentially these long parts right here. Each one of these is a phrase. And they're all multiples of 4. So the smallest it would be 4. Usually they're about 8 or 16. Usually they're about 2 8 blocks in one, or just 1 8 block. They might be as long as 32. It depends on the song, and it also takes just time to kind of understand what is what, but you're going to want to start on a phrase. So right here is where your outro starts. You can see there's a little dip in the bass, And that's where you're going to want to start your mix, because this, the likelihood of this and this being about 8 is pretty likely. So you are going to try to mix throughout this entire time and your entire time here. So when you mix, it's going to come in right there. That's kind of the goal. So I'm going to start playing this song. So I'm going to rewind this song a little bit. Again, use shift, hold it down, and I'm going to grab my headphones, and I'm going to listen to this song through the headphones. As you can see when I'm listening to the headphones with this little headphone button. When I have deck B listening to the headphones, it's going to light up, but I'm going to have deck A listening through the headphones. And I'm also going to set a cue point where I want to start mixing in, which is right there. So I'm going to set my first cue point there, in fact. So I'm going to set my cue point 1 there. I also have another cue point there. But I'm going to set my cue point 1 there, just hidden under that yellow arrow. But I'm setting my first cue point there. All right. It's going to start from here. Then I have my other song it's going to be playing. All right. So now when I'm in a B match, I'm going to start this right at the start of this phrase right here. I'm going to start playing this song right at the start of that phrase from here. Since they're in sync, they should stay exactly the same. So I'm going to show you just a little demo. So I'm going to play this song. Alright, so I'm just waiting for the song to start. So now that I've listened, I'm going to be listening to the headphones to kind of get an idea of where I am in the other song and just see how in sync it sounds. So I'm going to have one ear listening to the speakers, the other ear listening to the headphones. Now I'm going to use the jog wheel here. I'm going to kind of move the edges to kind of line them up more. And I'm going to slowly mix it in. And then I can move the BPM back to more normal, and I'm just playing the song like no one even noticed. So that wasn't the greatest beat match in the world, but again, most of the time people won't notice if you do not the best job, and that was just kind of a quick and dirty beat match. But basically that's the kind of idea, is you want to line up the beats, and then you're going to use the side of the jog wheel here. As you can see, it kind of moves it. So if I'm playing this song, it's going to slow it down. It's going to speed it up a little bit, or slow it down. And that's just going to let you fine-tune your match, because you want these bars to be exactly on beat, or they're not going to sound good like you just heard a couple minutes ago. So that is how you beat match, how you fade, how you slam. Those are the 3 types of transitions that you're going to do.